before. These are really unprecedented times. The fact that you have fundamental questions about the ability of the Eurozone countries to come together and get their fiscal house in order, questions about the future stability of the dollar, are forcing people to look very differently at currencies around the world.
What investors would really like to invest in, of course, is the Chinese yuan or renminbi, but that's not so easy. China has developed a limited offshore market for the yuan recently, but it still has formidable capital controls, and those restrict just how much money people can put into China itself.
Linda, many thanks for that. We'll see how the markets respond in Europe later today. It's just coming up to 5:30 GMT. You're with The World Today.
The BBC World Service in the United States is distributed by Public Radio International. Distribution is made possible in part by Medtronic, leveraging products, people, and philanthropy to help lessen the global impact of chronic non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and heart disease, and announcing that this September, world leaders will come together at the United Nations to chart a global response to this health issue. Learn more at medtronic.com.
You're listening to The World Today from the BBC World Service. Today, Human Rights Watch has accused all sides in Somalia's civil war of exacerbating the famine. Also, the Channel Island of Jersey in shock after a mass stabbing. And what has the world learned over recent crises about the real value of money? We'll tell you here on The World Today. After the news.
BBC News with John Jason. The campaign group Human Rights Watch says all parties in Somalia's armed conflict have committed serious breaches of human rights and are contributing to the humanitarian catastrophe and famine there. In a new report, the organisation accuses the Islamist group Al-Shabaab of unrelenting daily repression of civilians and brutality in areas under its control. The transitional federal government is accused of arbitrary arrest and detention. The former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak is due to appear in court in Cairo again today on charges of corruption and of ordering the killing of hundreds of protesters in the uprising earlier this year. When his trial opened, Mr. Mubarak, who pleaded not guilty, spent the proceedings lying on a stretcher inside a cage in the dock. More than 1,000 Mexicans have joined a protest against the government's strategy in the fight against drugs gangs. The protesters want President Felipe Calderón to pull the army off the streets. Mr. Calderón says there's no viable alternative to using the military to confront the cartels. President Obama starts a 3-state bus tour of the American Midwest today in a bid to regain the political initiative after weeks of bad economic news and political attacks. The president will be meeting supporters in Minnesota, Illinois, and Iowa. On Sunday, 2 Republican front-runners for the presidential candidacy attacked Mr. Obama over the weakness of the economy and the level of the national debt. Japan's economy contracted less than expected in the last quarter, showing stronger signs of recovery from the deadly earthquake and tsunami which hit the country in March. New figures reveal the economy shrank by an annual rate of 1.3%. It had been expected to be more than twice that much. Arsenal Football Club say they've agreed to transfer their captain Cesc Fabregas to the European champions Barcelona. The deal signals the end of the Spanish international midfielder's 8-year spell at the London club. That's the latest BBC News.
Welcome back. You're listening to The World Today from the BBC World Service with Lawrence Pollard and Max Pearson. The English Channel Island of Jersey is known for its balmy climate, tourist beaches and low-tax economy, which attracts the wealthy and the well-heeled. It's definitely not known for violent crime. That's why the multiple stabbing on Sunday afternoon has come as such a shock to the island's inhabitants. 6 people, 3 children, 2 women and a man were killed in the incident. One man who was treated in hospital has been arrested. Andre Thorpe saw the ambulances arrive at the scene of the
running in and out with bags and then whereas with next to somebody out, I couldn't really see that clearly, but then they were rushing off back down the prison, back down to the hospital, which is not far away, and then again within 5-10 minutes the two ambulances were back, and so one of the paramedics had some blood on her shirt.
Well, Alan Le Breton is a columnist for the Jersey Evening Post. Can you tell me what's known about the incident?
Well, the first reports were about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The neighbours reported screams from the premises and then talk about people spilling out onto the road in front. Fortunately, the house, which is a large crescent area which overlooks the town of St Helier, these are large houses have been divided into flats, but as it happens, they're very close to the ambulance station, so the paramedics were on the scene very quickly and able to realise it was a pretty large incident they were carrying.
Even though the ambulance may have been there quickly, there's still a large number of fatalities.
Oh yes, indeed. 6 people were told, and in fact the general hospital was closed for a couple of hours because they were just unable to cope with that amount of intake. They had to call people in on don't forget, the Sunday afternoon at the height of the holiday season, and the hospital was closed to all admissions while the case was going on.
Is it understood that this is what you might call a domestic incident in that the victims are from one family?
The police describe it as a contained incident, so that pretty well assumes that the victims are all known to each other, but the neighbours talk of it being an extended family. We think they're Polish residents. Jersey has a large Polish community, about 4,000 people who work here from the EU, and mostly in the hospitality industry. But the expectation or the feeling is that they are either all of the same family or certainly know each other.
And just describe the sense of shock that there is in Jersey, because it's not a place, known as somewhere where people would likely come across incidents of this violent nature.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, it's struck to the heart of the place. This is probably one of the safest places in Western Europe. The last murder was committed back in 2004, that's 7 years ago. So, it's regarded as very safe and very free and easy. And as I said, it's the sort of thing which is really shaking the community at the height of the holiday season. And in fact, the officer leading the inquiry has spoken how his officers and the paramedics themselves are very shaken up by having been confronted with such a large scene.
That's Alan Le Breton, who writes for the Jersey Evening Post.
And this is The World Today from the BBC. Lebanon had an estimated 4 million cluster bombs dropped on it by Israel in the final days of the war of 2006. Lebanon is still removing these potentially lethal bomblets, as they're called, from the land bit by bit. They're about, it's said, 2/3 of the way through the entire process. It means that many Lebanese have been trained in the dangerous business of demining, and among the deminers is an all-female team. They've been trained by a Norwegian NGO, and they're led by Lamis Zain. She's a 33-year-old mother of 2. She was among the first to sign up for the Norwegian training program. Why?
I heard about it, and I saw many people that were injured from cluster munition. So I decided to enter the female team to search for cluster bombs and to clear as much as possible from usable lands or gardens that families, children can enter inside again in order to play without any victims.
Before you started this, how did you deal with the potential danger?
Honestly, it's very frightening and scary at the beginning, but we have rules, procedures, you have to apply them, and I don't think it will be hard for any person to have such rules, and everything will be very easy for any searcher if they can go on through this.
What are the qualities that you need? I imagine you need patience, but what else do you need?
Of course. Patience, concentration. Leave whatever you have problems behind you, and whenever you are entering inside, you have to think about what you are going to do. You are searching for something which is very dangerous, so you have to be concentrating from the beginning of the day till the end.
And how big are the bomblets that you're looking for?
With respect to the size, it's very small. It's about the size of the mobile, but it's going to make explosion. It will hurt more than 10 people.
As I understand it, you have to look for them anywhere, so